I just want to take a look at the monthly charts on the euro dollar and the yen. And it looks like a possibility of, as far as the hesitation here, the consolidation that's forming, it would have to be, the scenario here would be for the bulls. This is your trend line you're holding. This is the top that became a bottom. The only problem for the bulls is that this price pulse here is very measured, equal, and this could be the first chink in the armor as it take out some stops there on the monthly. If this is the breakout pullback to fair value, then the next thing would be to start to come back into this top, looking left into an internal support area that coincides with a real, where it's always launching pad, and there's a lot of trade being taking place, a lot of orders, a lot of volume there. Just like when this bottom became the top, they just nicked that. Here the bottom was, they trapped the bears. But if you wanted to go short, you had to look at this doji. You are looking right and left at the same time. You look left so you can place your orders way right. And here on the euro, you've got the situation where this would be the top just became a bottom on the monthly, looking for to come up into that. And here the bearish scenario is that you're in this phase right now. You've come down, paused, and you're looking for an equal move down to China, way below. You're going way below par there at some point. But it's not a straight line ride, and a lot of these things don't work out. This here, if they've trapped the bulls, then they are really going to take that back and take it all the way down. It'd be quite the ride. If you look at the broader view, it's going way back into territory that hasn't been visited in quite some time, these prices. And for the euro, it's going to be, well, the ultimate entry on any chart's going to be the apex of the previous triangle around 85 cents. That's possible too. I mean, if they start doing their QEs, then you're going to see this channel play out back into the floor. But for the what I think is going to happen in the near term is we're coming up into here. We're going to retest or come into this inverted head and shoulders, and it would just be a place for, because this could just trade sideways. There's plenty of money to be made over this whole span of all these wicks. If you drill down on that, there's so many killer setups inside all these wicks, and always this like this big wick here on the monthly. I'm sure on the 4 hour there was some unbelievable setups in there that looked like no-brainers, So there's always plenty of money to be made. Look at this wonderful top bottom. Top bottom. This is an incredible move. Incredible. But where does it always end up at? Some type of doji. Always. And if you looked right from that, when you broke out and pulled back, look at how subtle this pullback, top became a bottom here is compared to, and inside of here, obviously, all these wicks is one more accumulation. 160 on the euro. 2008. Huh. So, and for the bulls, the long-term view is, yeah, we might get trapped in here, but we'll break this trend line and then to the moon, Alice. But this side of the story is, retest, triangle, and then it just, God knows, right, ends up at 20 cents. The idea that the dollar is the only thing coming off the rails is such a country biased view. If you live there, you know, really the only thing that matters is your own current whatever's in proximity to you. If you're not watching the news and you're not watching people try to interpret the news, then you really have a view of kind of like an animal. But you're more likely to survive just because you're thinking on your feet as opposed to trying to get things to fit in a template. And when it comes to trading, I think the idea that you would build a system that would be so optimized, I don't think it could handle some of these things, especially this giant pause right here. This is very interesting territory now. This is like an abandoned baby in a way. I do think the next move will be up into this, if only for that trade. And then who knows, right? After that, since the groundwork's been laid, this is the doji. The next doji looking to be retested just below par. That'll be the freak out entry, but it'll be one of these kind of moves where if you hold on through that whole swing, you would just, if you were that long-term trader, like this top, right to here. Then the stop hunt, grab those stops. Look at this incredible move. That's a mind-blowing move. 2 years. This is a very it's like they just took the air out of that balloon pretty hard there. What a washout. Unbelievable. The way that thing fell, that's incredible. That's the monthly chart, for God's sakes. But to me, the monthly here would have been the last known top. Became a bottom on that inverted hammer. We're in the critical zone. Once they clean out these, once it fuels, all the bears get stopped out, it's going to fuel a rally up into that doji, I think. So I'll go on to the yen here. Yen has that possibility. If the euro plunges, yen's going to be looking possibly, only because it's the dollar against, looking to go clear house, trigger a bunch of bullish consensus as you make higher, take out these highs. But definitely a possible comeback to this water table. So you can see these water tables. You can run these on the horizontal mode and get almost a divergence view using the other currency as your indicator. And that's my Canadian accent. You just have to ask a question. Okay, here we go. It's horizontal charting. So monthly view, horizontal charting, which is the not giving me a little offset on this thing. Data goes back further on one, so unfortunately I'm going to zoom in one level to cue that. So here it would have been trend line view on that is, this is the trend line to break, and I guess you could say almost already broke out here. But is there any correlation at this point between this double top? There's not really. See, here they're both plunging. So there's no correlation really to be had. You could take either trade. Take the best setup out of two currencies. You could probably clean up. If you go more complicated, these are the two tightest spreads out of all the currency pairs. Once you go to the pound, you're really in like it looks like the Canadian dollar's a lot of wicks. And once you go to the Swiss franc, it's kind of like very static. It doesn't really have the crowd behavior to give you those nice sharp triangles. You're going to get more tops and bottoms and stuff. And anyways, that's my monthly wrap up of the markets according to another thing. Notice the end of the month here, the look at this turnabout. Comes up and gives you that top bottom here, but you could be selling here at this point, and just a little bit after buying here. So in this point they did diverge, but where we climax up into. So if you do a walkthrough look back and of this thing, you can get if you had a trend line here, there is your sell zone, and your volatility breakout happens here. But there's a little bit of a delay for this. Doesn't turn around immediately. First they have to come down and crush all the bull stops before they rip their face off. You know, this is a rip your face off kind of game in the end. No getting around that. But you can always look back on these things for confirmation that your system works, and then you can just pull the trigger. You don't have to get crappy fills. Here, definitely drifting up, ready to collapse. Here we're forming a triangle here. But the velocity of these moves, it's not perfect mirror image, but I guess it's close enough for kind of a crude view. But these guys could agree for a while, but somebody's going to diverge and take the other path. But you can't really be that set in your view, because look at this slow meltdown while this is in a range on the broader view. So you can't always get a perfect mirror.